Alright, we do have a little bit of wind, but I'm going to try and get through this engine bay portion here. As you see, it idles down. It's going to be a 4-cylinder turbo on this vehicle. That's a 2-liter. These are direct injections, so if you hear the ticking sound, that means your injectors are firing. That's what you like to hear. Belts, hoses, everything look really good on this. Oil's so clean I could barely see it. I had to dip that a few times. Cooling nice and full. Main things we like to check is our crash rails and supports here. Make sure this all looks factory, bolts untouched. A little easier with this hole on the passenger side to show you the frame rail here. All those bolts untouched. Everything just looks like it's, you know, still factory put together, right? Battery on this car is located in the rear under the spare tire. I'll show you when we get to that portion of the video. In the engine bay, really nothing to concern. Car had plenty of power, drove great. Didn't give me any kind of weird noises or sounds on cold start, and warmed up just fine. Really clean the engine bay. Like I said, this car only has about 13,000 miles at the time of inspection, so as to be expected, right, on a newer vehicle. We're gonna keep moving right along here. All right, we're gonna go through the exterior and just kind of point out any kind of blemishes or anything. Honestly, on this there wasn't a lot to point out. Car's really clean, great condition. All the plastics and all the edges are all like as they should be. Nice crisp lines. As you can see, all the gaps, rubbers and everything look great. I always take my finger and rub it down here. Cars that haven't had paint work, it should feel like an ice cube is the best way I could explain it. You just run your finger for any kind of roughness or like sandy or gritty edges. That means there's probably been paint work done at some point. I always open these up. As you can see, all these are still painted. Nothing's been pulled or worked on. Did notice it looked like, I don't know, maybe a dog or something jumped up on this side. The car wasn't washed before I picked it up, so you got a couple bird droppings. I don't know if they're just showing up in the video, but they're not like dents or anything. See it on the hood a little bit right there. Some on the door. But no real damage to make note, right? No real dimples, dents, dings. I saw a couple very light scratches, but they're not anything that catches my nail, so it can be worked on. The top is glass, so you would know if there's an issue there. Plastics and everything on the front and rear are looking really good. This does have little fenders to kind of keep the spray out and everything. The wheels are really good shape. I don't see any curbage. The sidewalls, no curbage there. Everything's lined up on the front. Original glass. That's one thing I always look at too, especially with cars with safety systems. Original glass. You want to make sure it was designed and programmed to work with that glass. I've seen aftermarket ones cause issues, so it's something I look at. And on the lower portion here, no scuffs or scrapes, so it's not like they were running into curbs or going off of steep bumps quickly or anything like that. So exterior is really good. Black cars usually show a lot, so it's really nice to see a good inspection, clean one there. Alright, we're going to use this mirror here and kind of show you the undercarriage. I like to go from the front, just show all the belly pans, skid plates, and splash guards, all secure, snug, and nothing hanging loose. That's what we like to see. Nothing wet, nothing look visibly stained like there's been wet. Looks really good from this angle. We're going to hit each corner and kind of show you lift points and body. Alright, so this is going to be the driver front corner, lift point area, structural, and the pinch weld, basically body frame on these. They're subframe cars, so it's just a floor pan with body and then the suspension, everything gets bolted to it. The silver there, that wrinkle, it's just like an adhesive tape. It's not really like dented or anything. It really got me at first, so I really want to highlight that while I'm over it with the video, so you're not like, what is that? He didn't say anything. It's like an insulated tape for like sealing that off, and it's just kind of soft and pliable still because the car's so new. I'm gonna keep moving along. This is gonna be the other lift point on the driver's side and the rear. You see your belly pan, your gas tank and everything is under there. Driveline and exhaust are also under there, which is really crazy. They really covered that up, seal it off. Nothing's getting in there. We're gonna move to the back. Alright, so this is going to be your muffler. I'll show both sides. It's going to be your spare tire area and rear diff and suspension. All looks really good, really clean still, no rust, no surface rust. Sides. You can kind of see your floor pan back here for the trunk. All good, no wrinkles, no repairs. Nothing looks like it's been taken off or put back on. All those bolts look fresh. Now we're gonna go along the side for the lift points on the passenger. All right, so this is gonna be your lift point on the passenger rear. Looks really good. Body's in great shape. No wrinkles, no bends, nothing ripped or rusting. That's what we like. Move up to the front. Same tape on there. Support and lift point, great shape. So that's good. It means people know how to lift these. It's probably been serviced well. More of the belly pan. It's really hard to get a good eye on some of the stuff, but getting in there, it's all really clean, very tidy. That's what we like. Usually when you see those hanging down or it looks like they've been taken apart, it looks like they've been up in there, and I don't think it's a bad thing when you don't see people taking stuff apart. I think it's a good thing. So looks good. All right, I always leave the radio on at first so you can hear it. Turn it down here. Just a roller. Also the roller here. Steering wheel controls. You got heated seats, adaptive cruise lane control. This actually goes to the speed limit based on GPS where you're at, which is really cool. Hands-free and Bluetooth here. Shifters are up and down. You can't oh yeah, you can see them on both there. Shift into sport mode, you just pull back twice. It took me a second to figure that one out. You got your park. Reverse is forward. Neutral, I guess, is stationary, and then drive. Twice is drive, and then twice is sport. Drive modes here. It has like a dynamic, comfort, and then weathers like snow and ice and everything. Your climate control, you can do both sides, which works really good. On the heated seats, there's different levels on there. I'll kind of push this. So these look like touchscreen buttons, but there is actually a little bit of haptic feedback. You just kind of push a little harder. This is where you turn on the seats, and then it also has levels up and down. It worked really fast. It's a little chilly today. We're about 40 some odd degrees during inspection. On the gauge here, I'll show you mileage 1,000 or 13,715. Car drove really good. Lights on right now. I have the parking brake for the test. Once you put these into gear, it goes off, and then push button for park. It's a little hard to show, but it has a full glass sunroof. The shade opens all the way up, and then it slides back to that little half section there, and then a tilt function. On your screen, navigation works really good. Kind of in a weird spot where they're developing. That's why it doesn't look like we're in a spot. And then you can connect all your things, so you have your nav, phone, and radio or media, which I love this. This is really cool. Very intuitive. Climate controls work great, like I was saying. Dash is very nice on this, kind of like a wood here. Has like a wood feel to it, and then leather with a good stitch. Very nice dash. Now we're gonna open all the doors up and kind of blow up the interior. All right, so we're from the outside looking in here. They are power front seats, both sides. Auto up and down windows, locks, power folding mirrors. And then you do have a power lift gate with a button here, button on your two fobs that they gave me. And then there's also a button on the tailgate itself. Seats are in really good shape. Leather's still nice and soft. The bolsters are awesome. Look, this is my whole, all like 4-finger spread right there on that bolster. Center console is really nice. I love the headrests. I'm gonna move to the back here. As I do, you can kind of see these doors open almost straight up. It limits that space on the front, but for passengers it's great. Loading, unloading. Door cards here, really good shape. They look good too. And then back seats look like they've barely ever been used. Does have these like accessories to like hang things. They're Jaguar accessories, both sides. Center console folding down here. Vents, but no controls. And then we're gonna hop sides real fast, show you the same. All right, so from this side, same story. On these, I always like to pull on these, make sure they go back and they retain well and still very elasticy. Door card on this side, great shape. Same on here. Power seats, like I was saying, on the both fronts. Has factory carpet mats. Carpet underneath is really nice. And then glove box has the Maroni sticker, but it does not have oh, there's the owner's manual info. It's not like strapped in. There's a little strap here normally. One other thing I did really love on this, so you have your rubber seal, but there's like this felt here. So when you shut the door, it's like a very nice, soft sound. I love that. I just wanted to kind of give that tidbit while I was over here. It's gonna conclude our interior. Very, very clean. All right, we're gonna start here. This is your trunk portion, but I like to show the button, this little smooth guy next to the camera. Push that. It's like the buttons are not buttons, but you just give them a little bit of input and they work. It's like a haptic system on this car. It's very interesting. You'll see what I'm talking about when you play with the buttons. Underneath the cover, spare tire. It's made to basically be the full height of a spare. It's just not the full size of a spare. Your battery is underneath there. Like I was saying in the engine portion, I'd show you that. Wheel locks there, which is great. Nothing worse than trying to get your wheels off on a used car without those. Tools and your recovery point there. This, if you just push down on it like that, will stay into that slot. There's no real hooks or anything to hold it. Pull on it and it just comes right back down. Carpet's in really good shape. Plastics and everything are also really good. Everything stays secure, nothing loose. All very elastic still. And then there is a button up here. That's how you close. This is very quiet. There's no whining sound, nothing. It just does its thing. Love that. All right, so this is gonna be our code scan portion. I always start by making sure our VIN down here matches the vehicle's VIN. As you can see, we have some faults that are showing up on here. I did put some of the powertrain control ones into like text form so you could see what the codes were. They were for some cylinder imbalance. Now all of these are saying a voltage scenario happened. Everything else is checking out good with no faults. But these all have some kind of low voltage or lost communication. So there had to have been either the vehicle needed a jump start or they replaced the battery, or during some kind of work they disconnected the battery and then had to reset everything. Like I said, they're all history, they're all stored or permanent, so it means that this just needs like a few drive cycles for that to actually be cleared fully. We do about a 10-mile drive when we do our tests, so it should have brought back any of them if they were going to be active. All right, we're going to also do a monitor scan here. All right, this is going to be our monitors. As you can see, green checks, that's what we like to see. Basically, as you drive the vehicle, these are a series of monitors that are checked. Basically, they're either within parameters or an active test that happens while you're driving to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to. Some of them with the gray circle, that just means it's not an active monitor supported through this test, or it could be tied to another system, because a lot of the things talk and communicate to each other nowadays. Everything's so interwebbed. They just kind of run off of the information something more intelligent or more data can get from. But everything checked out pretty good. Looks good. I'll scroll down again, just make sure we saw it all. And that's going to be our code scan. All right, this is going to be the conclusion. I always like to make the car look alive, get everything lit. This has all the LEDs all the way around, so it's really nice looking. Car has great drivability. Drive straight, all the creature features and safety, like the cruise control is adaptive, has the lane keep, all that blind spot works great. Has plenty of power for a 4-cylinder turbo. The transmission, you can tell it does focus on, depending on the mode, on getting you back down into lower RPM, just kind of put along, get good economy. Does great. The one thing these do is they kind of go into a really high gear at lower speed, and you kind of get this almost like a vibration, but it's just the car lugging along without much effort, so you kind of just feel it, I guess. It's the best way I could explain it. It's just the car's trying to not do more than they absolutely have to for economy. I was pretty impressed with this. Great, really good interior. I love the way it's trimmed out. This car had really low mileage, 13,000 at the time of inspection. Runs, drive, stops great. I did note we had a good amount of rain these past few days. Like, it's just been consistent for a couple weeks, and you can see here a little bit of like surface rust, but during the drive I got a lot of that knocked off. It was a little loud at first, but there's no more sound or any kind of roughness to the pedal. Might not look as attractive when you look in on there. As you drive, that should clean itself up. None of them had anything that would cause me to be concerned about that. This car is in very, very good shape. Low mileage, pretty much brand new still. So this is going to be the end of our conclusion on our 23 Jaguar F-Pace.